Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, the home of Yucaipa Valley Real Estate Life. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the very important aspects, whether you're a buyer or a seller in the market, and that is the riveting topic of the home inspection. Okay, let's get right to it. So whether you are selling your home or looking to buy a new home, the home inspection is a question that comes up for every person in the real estate transaction on both sides. So today, what I really want to talk about is what is a home inspection? What is it covering? What can you expect to see in the report? And then based on the results of the home inspection, how does that change the position of either the buyer or the seller? And then how can you leverage the results of the home inspection in your favor on both sides for the negotiation? First of all, the home inspection is really going to start off with general information about the house itself. So there's usually a description of the property, like bedroom, wood frame home on concrete foundation, attached garage, something like that. So just a basic property description. And that's really where they sort of lay out the type of property that they're looking at. The inspector also will mention the situation of the day of the inspection. So who's present during the inspection, sometimes the weather, if the weather can be taken into account. And so that's kind of just basically the lead in to the results of the inspection. And that's what you would see first on the report. After that, they get into a bit more of the meat of the inspection. So the inspector is going to do a detailed run through of all of the systems that have to do with the house. So you're thinking like HVAC systems, AC, your electrical systems, plumbing, and anything that looks like a safety concern or that it's out of place or not, the components are not attached properly. The inspector will note each of those things on the report. So they use a few different denotations to say whether the item was inspected or not inspected, and then the results of that, whether they believe it's a safety concern, whether they believe it warrants extra determination, but all of those things are written during that inspection itself, so you're able to reference that back later. Additionally, on the report, you'll notice annotated pictures of each of the items that they believe need addressing. So the inspector will take pictures of every single item that they mark on the report. That way, when you're reading the report, you're not just looking at their description of location, you actually get to see a visual reference to what they're talking about. So if they do see termite damage or any of the wood destroying organisms, of course, they take a picture of the little powder dusts or the little poops that they leave around. If they see wiring that's not hooked up properly, they would take a picture of that. But anything that they're not able to see, like behind the sheetrock, behind the siding of your house, they just make that note on there that they were not able to inspect that item. So it's not like it's saying that you're cleared in that area, but it is at least giving you an idea of what they actually looked at or not. So then once the report is complete, what actually happens with it? So in a lot of cases, the buyer is putting the home inspection as a contingency on their offer, which means that the buyer wants to have an inspector look at the house and then they want to clear what the inspector found before removing the contingency and moving forward with the sale. Now, as a seller, if the buyer is the one that pays for the home inspector, only the buyer is going to get a copy of the report. And they're not legally required to share any of the results with you, but rest assured they will use the results in their favor during negotiations, as well they should. So in some cases, they may share portions of the result with you if they are negotiating against that. And sometimes if they walk away from the sale, they may hand over the report to you, but they're not required to do that. So one of the things I really recommend is getting a pre-inspection done on your house before it goes live as a listing. That way you know exactly what to expect from the inspection, and you can prepare for that in your listing itself. So you will have to disclose anything that you find out on the listing to the buyer. But disclosing doesn't necessarily put you in a bad position. It actually puts you in a little bit of a place of power, because in that way you can cater the listing specifically taking into account all of the things that you found out on the inspection, and the buyer knows up front what they're getting into. Okay, so now you're at the portion of the home inspection where the buyer is able to use the results of the home inspection during the negotiations. And there will certainly be negotiations if the buyer is willing to move forward. So one of the things I really recommend here is to work with a licensed realtor who is trained and understands negotiation for real estate. There are a lot of ways to fashion a deal that benefit both parties, and someone who doesn't have the experience in negotiation specifically for real estate may lose opportunities for you as a buyer to continue and move forward with the deal, or may lose the opportunity to sell the house if they're the listing agent. So working with someone who really understands negotiation is really important here. But in either case, know that the results of the home inspection aren't a definite yes or a definite no. There's a lot of playroom in the way that you can move forward after the inspection results come in. So something to really think about is that when you do go into negotiations, if there are going to be any buyer credits given out for repairs, the repair credits, make sure that you as the seller hire a licensed contractor to come out and give you estimates of that repair. In some cases, I mean, home inspectors are people, and so they make mistakes, and anything that even looks like a possible safety concern, they're required to mark that down. But if they say, oh, you know, possible plumbing issue in the bathroom, and then the buyer gets the report and then they say that they need a plumbing credit repair, you can hire a plumber to come out, and in some cases the plumber may say, you know, actually everything is in good working order, there's 10 to 20 years left on this device or on these pieces of material, and so in that way you're sort of relieved of the responsibility of that mark on your home inspection report. So make sure before you move forward and hand out money or reduce your listing price that you've actually spoken with somebody who is an expert in whichever area has been flagged on the home inspection, so that you know yourself exactly what that should cost to repair and how serious or minor that issue is. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you learned a little bit about home inspection so that you're more prepared when you sell your home. Feel free to comment, look at my other videos if you haven't, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.